Hey, listing masters, it's Zion. I was having a conversation with Tracy this morning and I figured I'd just do a quick video because I'm sure a lot of you are probably encountering this situation. So, what do you do when you're a listing agent and you've gotten multiple offers on a property and you're trying to figure out going back and forth between each buyer? You want to get your client the highest and best price with the best terms. So Tracy had brought this up, and I know a lot of agents are really hesitant, and they kind of tiptoe around not giving too much information. And I just want to clarify: there is nothing. You're not violating any rules. You are not. You're not doing any disservice to your client by telling the other buyers and the other bidders exactly where another offer is at. You can tell them price, you can tell them terms. There's a lot of agents who want to retain that information because they feel like it's some type of, I don't know, like we've just, a lot of agents have always done it. And maybe it's like a control thing. Like we want to hold the terms of that offer close because it's information we have that they don't. I can tell you that actually can do your client a disservice. You want your client to get the highest price, best terms, all of that, and to be transparent with other offers about where those other buyers are at, I think helps your client because there's a lot of people are very competitive in nature. And as much as they'll get annoyed with you, let's say you've got four offers on a property. You've got, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You've got the highest bidder and then the lower bidders. When you go and tell these bidders, hey, by the way, you're number 2. This is where the highest offer is at. This is the terms. Let me know if you want to match or beat it. And this buyer, when you go back and tell them, hey, you're number 1, I will let you know if another bidder comes in with better terms. Okay, at some point, you're going to get an agent who's going to get pissed. They hate to compete, right? And they're going to challenge you on it. And all you can say, you can tell them point blank, you can say, yeah, they're going to say, are you actually going to keep going back and forth and just keep this bidding war going? And you can look them straight in the eye and say, yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do because that's what's best for my client. And you can validate their concerns. You can do it tactfully and compassionately. You can say, hey, look, I've been on your side of the deal. I've had a buyer and I can tell you, I wish I knew exactly where we were in comparison to other offers. Wouldn't you rather bid knowing where you're at and where you stand than bid blindly? I would. And, working at the auction for years and being to car auctions and equipment auctions, I can tell you there's a reason that every other bidder knows where the high bidder is, okay? That drives up the price, okay? And you want to create and maintain that tension between those buyers. And you also want to be aware of that when you're on the buying side, okay? And you need to know how much are you willing to pay for this property and how much and at what price and at what point are you willing to let it go, okay? And you need to know that ahead of time going in and when you start bidding on this, because if you don't, you're going to get caught up in that hysteria and you're going to end up paying more for something than what you wanted to. You're going to have buyer's remorse, okay? So I can just say that when let the other bidders know where they're at. And when you get an agent who gets all pissy at you about it, you can tell, don't feel hesitant to explain to them why you're doing it and that it's in the best interest of your client. And hey, listen, John, the agent, if you were on my side, you should be doing the same. Well, no, I would never do that. That's unethical. Bullcrap. It's very ethical. I think it's unethical to play the guess game and not get your client the highest and best offer. That, to me, that's unethical. Okay. Transparency, in my mind, overrules all of that, and it's better for your client, and it's going to get them better terms. So don't feel, and I've talked to other brokers about this. I've talked to instructors who teach continuing education classes about this, and they're in agreement. There's somewhere somebody made up a rule, and we just all done it because that's what other agents are doing. But you should not be doing that. Is my point. Okay, be transparent. Let the other bidders know where they're at. I like using multiple counters as well. Multiple counters, bind the buyer without binding up your seller. Your seller retains that right to be able to go back and accept or reject that. But just call them up and say, hey, buyer two, you're in second position. Here's where the highest bidder is at. Let me know if you want to bid. The seller wants to decide by 5 o'clock today, or the seller wants to decide by 5 o'clock tomorrow, and let them know where they're at. I think that's the best service you can do to all parties. By being transparent, and to me, that's the most ethical way to do it. And like I said, you'll get people who get pissy about it. Don't feel bad about explaining to them why. So hope that makes sense. I'm going to try to do more of these videos on a weekly basis, just to give some tips and pointers and some things that can help you in your business. I hope you guys have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.